And I brought up the point that I've gotten the calls, my wife's gotten them, where they tell you what you were just talking about in a previous phone call to then say, hey, do I got your attention? I'm going to cut your head off if you don't back off, buddy. And the point is that I know a lot of people, you see cops all the time using the databases they have that are nothing compared to this to harass ex-wives or husbands or whatever. And that's what Snowden said. He said analysts are running around doing whatever they want. And you know, now they've got Alexander and others at NSA saying that isn't true. Wayne, tell us what your whistleblowers are telling you.
Well, basically, they're saying they're verifying what Snowden had to say. Now, it's funny how the people who support NSA, the group that's the internal NSA security group, and they obviously went and knocked on his mom's door in Ellicott City, Maryland, the other day. These people make the FBI look like the Girl Scouts. These are these Q group people. It's called the Q group. They have basically no oversight. They also work closely with a group at NSA of psychiatrists and psychologists. So anytime a whistleblower comes forward, they call these shrinks call the people in, and then they're determined to be crazy, and then they use that as a pretext to take their access away.
Now, by the way, this is nowhere in the news, but the last a few years that you broke at WayneMadsenReport.com, and now this will probably break because now attention's on it. I mean, we've had so many whistleblowers on, but I mean, this is from. Tell people specifics on the Q group because you're the originator of that information. You're up there on Capitol Hill. I mean, the Q group, this is the Praetorian Guard of the Big Brother Snoop system. Tell us about them.
Well, this is NSA's own little KGB and Stasi all wrapped up in one. They're the internal security. Now, when I worked at NSA, it was called the M Group. Yeah, obviously, an intelligence agency like NSA is going to have a group responsible for security and counterintelligence. But now the Q group has grown in size to more than 300 people. It's become a force unto itself. It's an intelligence agency within an intelligence agency. And what they do is the reason you're going to get more whistleblowers coming forward is the word out of NSA is they're now really cracking down. Every time there's a leak like this, they really get tougher and tougher on their employees. So obviously you're going to see.
Well, it's like ATF a few months ago, that video, it said, the acting director said, A, don't show people this video, so people released it, and B, you must be subservient and do what we say and only talk about corruption through channels, which breeds corruption, and people are sick of it. I'm sorry, but I mean, you agree with me. The reason then that you see so many whistleblowers is that they're harassing people.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, the people on the inside of NSA, whether they're military or civilian employees, government employees of NSA, or contractors, as was Snowden. Now, I know he went back and forth between contractor and government employee. They all say the same thing. There are abuses taking place. Misters Binney and Wiebe and Tice and Tom Tam from the Justice Department and Loomis and so many others, Tom Drake, they've all come out and said the same thing. These were senior level people at NSA. So it's across the board that the abuses are happening. And you've got General Alexander, who's I think now probably the longest serving director of NSA. Before him, it was General Hayden. You've got these guys that are becoming like the FBI director, 10-year terms, it seems. You got Alexander. How many Bilderberg meetings did he attend in the past? He didn't go this year, but I counted them. He's gone to 5 in the past. So he says he's loyal to the Constitution. It looks like he's more loyal to the bylaws of the Bilderberg group. I've never seen an NSA director go to these groups, these foreign groups, where he's obviously violating the Logan Act. That's another act that ought to be enforced. These people can't conduct their own foreign policy, but he probably has a pass from Obama, as he had a pass from Bush.
Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement, made 14 years ago, accurately predicted the globalist takeover using the Great Reset and the threat of a virus. This film is now more important than ever. I noticed just a few months ago that suddenly the limited supply we had at InfoWarsStore.com had sold out, that people were really talking about the documentary because major platforms like Amazon had banned it because the globalists had openly criticized the film, like the New York Times. And so we printed 20,000 copies, now back in print, and in less than 2 weeks, we've already sold half of them. This is very, very exciting. We're selling them close to cost at $3.95 a piece when you buy them in bulk, or $14.95 when you buy them individually. There is a 0 country code on it, meaning you can copy this anywhere in the world. Get it. Burn copies. Share it with everyone. It's blowing people away. It's evergreen. It predicted it all. Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Available now in DVD at InfoWarsStore.com.